Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So I love Mondays because Mondays help me to do a reset and look what went good last week and what could have gotten better. So I get a chance to start over fresh and accomplish those things that I need to accomplish so I can have a successful week. So thank you guys for joining us for this Monday pep. So we've been discussing last week. We was discussing a series in a book that I've read a few years ago, and it came back up that I thought would be very helpful to do a review of the book, and that's with Atomic Habits by James Clear. And last week we talked about, and I got it here. It says, what do your habits say you are?" And we found that to be very helpful. Everyone had those who got a chance to review that. They have pulled out some good points, but I'm continue on reading the different chapters. And the thing is, well, what is a habit? So I took my notes here, right? And so this week we're going to talk about chapter, let me see, I got it right here, chapter 13. And this is something that I think a lot of people may be able to connect with. I know I've had challenges with this. I always thought it plagued me throughout my life until I tried to figure how to stop this particular habit, right? And it's called procrastination. And he deals with this in chapter 13. He says how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. So we're going to talk about how can 2 minutes stop you from procrastinating. So I really thought that was an interesting concept. And before we go into that, again, in the publication, he talks about why we want to establish certain habits, because really what a habit is an automatic choice that influence our decisions, right? Or our actions that follows. So now we know that there's good habits and there's bad habits, but what we want to do is develop the habits that's going to help us to be the most constructive and be to have the best quality that will affect our lives and also the lives of those who come in contact with us, with our family, our friends, and our clients, right? So we definitely want to consider the ritual. But he made some good points. And before we go into that 2-minute rituals, he was saying how we want a gateway habit. So you think about what's a gateway. So you think about, when I heard that word, I think about when people say certain drugs is a gateway to bigger drugs. Well, we don't want to look at it in that negative sense, but the point is we want this habit to become easy that will lead to, that will trigger other actions. So the whole point is establishing a ritual that is not so challenging that the thought of doing it would be a problem. So that's where the 2 minutes come in. But before we dig deeper in that, Yolanda, do you have any comments on that? Did you get a chance to review that?
No, I didn't. No. I didn't
Okay,
review
no. All right, no worries. So far, what do you think about that as far as procrastinating? Do you think that that's a tough thing that most people go through with procrastinating?
Yeah, even for me, I can find myself procrastinating because like, oh, I can do this later, and I can do this later, and then it always ends up being more stressful, because you're closer to the deadline or stuff like that. So it's not good. That's something I need to work on myself to try not to do. So yeah, it's good to work on that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I think most persons might feel that they have that challenge. And one of the things he said that the whole point of setting up this 2-minute rule is to get us to start. A lot of people, it's just starting. And a lot of times, why people have a hard time, because in their mind, they're thinking about the end result of whatever steps they need to do. So if you think about, for example, let's just say you want to wash your car. If you focus on the end result, right, of the car getting washed, that might, it might cause you, I don't feel like going through all of that, it has to get done. But if we apply what they're saying, it should be easy enough for us to do. Or it should be a trigger or a gateway. So for me, I know if I go, once I'm outside, if the day is nice and I go and turn the water hose on. Once I turn the water hose on, I'm going to go wash my car, right? So that's a gateway trigger, right? So the end result is a clean car, but to get started, I just have to go outside and just turn on that hose. I don't know if that really is a good example, but that's how I'm applying it. So the point is that you want to do it. It's not so much the end result, it's the ritual habit or the ritual thing that you can do that will get you going. So he brought a point out in the book. He said that it should not be that challenging where it should only take you 2 minutes to do. And he says the point is you want to get into the habit. So he says, like, going to the gym. He said he knew a guy that lost 100 pounds because the guy said, you know what, I'm just going to go to the gym. And if it takes me longer than 5 minutes, I'm leaving. And he said this guy did this every week, and then every day for 5 days a week. And he said eventually, because he became the type of person that goes to the gym instead of the person that is fit, he said the habit motivated him to say, you know what, I might as well stay since I'm here 5 minutes. So really, that was the point, that anything that we have to do, if we approach it that way, it would show, it would help us to establish and it confirm the type of person we want to be. So you think about now I'm saying, well, how can I apply that in the things that I have to do? It says the first step is that we have to have a decisive moment. We got to be decisive. So he gave an example. He said, when you go to a restaurant, you already made a decisive moment. You know that you're going to eat something in that restaurant. Or if you order food, you made a decision to order food. So you're going to order some type of takeout. So that's the first thing. So the thing is, with most people, when it comes to starting businesses, they all want to do it, but they don't know where to start. And part of the challenge is that we overthink so much that we worried about the outcome, that, oh, my first year, I want to be a millionaire. Well, when you think it, that could be kind of daunting, but what is the type of person that has a successful business? Well, it's a person who you have to be decisive in your decision. But we have to start off. We want to start off small so that our habit will cause us it will become automatic. I don't know, how does that, you have any comments on that, Yolanda?
Yeah, so it sounds like he's saying not to think about the activities, because the activities can be overwhelming. So to basically take it one step at a time. So like the workout, you said, if I'm thinking about working out, that may sound exhausting, or tiring. But if I just think about, okay, let me just go to the gym, or let me just do this one exercise, and then based on how you feel, you do the next exercise, instead of thinking about just working out as a whole, which can be a lot, especially if we're not too motivated yet. So, but if we just do it one step at a time, like the on the hose is one step at a time. But if we're thinking about actually going from side to side, washing the car, it can sound like it's a lot, but little by little, it doesn't sound like it's that much. So just take that one step.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Mm-hmm. Gad, I'm sorry, you want to say something?
No, it's okay.
I was thinking about, as you were saying that, then I'm reflected. I remember when P90X was really popular, and I remember I ordered those CDs, and I would put that CD in every day, but I wouldn't work out. I would just watch them. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looked like a whole lot. I did that for a minute. I just watched it. But what was happening was, I wasn't conscious of what I was doing, but I eventually got motivated. Then I'll say, okay, I'll just do a little bit, because just watching those people do that every day, it made me want to do it, and I would do a little bit, and eventually I was able to complete the 45 minutes of working out. So what he's saying is making sense. So what he's saying, the point is, you want to do it 2 minutes. The whole point is you want to start a ritual, and you do not want that ritual to be too much challenging, because especially if it's a gateway. So he also made a point that when he goes running, he knows when he ties his tennis shoes, it's going to gateway, it's going to lead him to the desired outcome that he wants to accomplish. But the habit is tying up the tennis shoes. If he gets into a habit of tying up his tennis shoes, eventually that's motivating him to go ahead and to accomplish that. So, we think about anything, it should not take us 2 minutes to get started if we the type of person that struggles with procrastinations. So we really, one of the things that help us to apply ourselves to these rules, that we have to really have some alone time and reflect and be honest and be in a moment, be conscious of the things that we need work on, and not to beat ourselves up, but to say, you know what? I need to make phone calls in my line of business. So what will be my gateway ritual so I can accomplish making those effective phone calls? So that's something we have to think about. If I'm set up, like when I get up early in the morning and I get ready for work and I have everything there, what is stopping me from accomplishing my goals? So that's something that I will have to look at to see what could be my ritual, right? I know that once I get up, I have a favorite song that I play in the morning to get me in the right frame of mind. And it's a habit, and that is playing Stephanie Mills, I Feel Good All Over. That is my thing. I play that, right? And it puts me in, because I'm trying to maintain energy. I want to be in a joyous mood, and that's just my habit. So I know once I turn on my equipment, I know I'm cutting off. I have Stephanie already keyed up and I listen to it. That's my ritual. That's my habit. But anyway, so the whole point is we want to be able to make application of these things so we could be more effective. And I do know preparation does help when not procrastinating. I know if I wait to the last minute and cram everything, it's a challenge. So the one habit I do have and I've been working on is getting up very early in the morning, and also trying to be in bed before 11 o'clock. It seems like when that works, I am way more productive. So any closing comments before I know it's Monday? We got to get going and apply some of these things, and no procrastination. Yolanda, do you have any closing comments or observations?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is the struggle too would be the like actually starting, taking that first step. That's really where the struggle comes in. So all the motivation should go towards the first step. And once the first step is done, then it will lead itself. It will be like this domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's taking that first step. It's putting on the tennis shoes. Just put on the tennis shoes, or just turn on the hose, and then that will basically lead itself forward. So just put all the focus on that one step, and don't look at everything else that's gonna come after. That's gonna come by itself. So.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I think about a person, a running back, and the whole goal is to move to get to the next yardage, right? And a lot of times when you watch a football and the guy has that football, he puts his head down and he's going, he's charging. His heart and his goal is to get to the finish, right? To get to the goal. But he has a challenge, and he has to get through these big, heavy defensive team to get him, to get through that goal. But what does he do? He grabbed that ball, he put himself in that mindset, and he goes and he advances. He got 10 yard, he advanced every step, and then eventually the team can get in a position so they can score. So that's pretty much what we have to do. Not always look at the whole outcome, because that could be daunting, but make your habits enjoyable, because the brain does reward. The brain likes things that feels good. So if we could kind of have that gateway habit and make it as fun as possible, then we will have a list of habits that will define the type of person who we want to be. We want to be a person that shows up. That is the main thing. And if we got to show up, then we should find habits that will help motivate us, because the whole point of getting started. So let's all try to practice that. Let's do that 2 minute if we need to, so we can get into those constructive habits so we can be a better version of ourselves. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for joining us. And I wish everyone to have a very successful morning, a Monday morning to help us have a very successful week. And we get to be brand new, press reset. What we couldn't get accomplished last week, that is in the past. The things we did right, let's build and learn from that. All right, thank you. Have a great week.